Hello, Pick a Side Nation. This is James Finley, your host for the Pick a Side podcast. We are coming to you from the lab. Today we have a great show. We have 4 interviews that we are having today. And we're going to start off with Sylvia Brooks Griffin. Then we will have Raquel Watts. Then after that, we'll have Dr. James Gray. And we'll finish off with Charne Tunson. These 4 lovely ladies are going to be running for the LACCD seat. And we hope that you will be able to get out and vote on November 3rd or sooner for all 4 of these ladies. We are hoping to make serious changes in the Los Angeles Community College District. Sit back, enjoy, and don't forget to subscribe. Take care. Bye-bye. Pick a Side Nation, how you doing? I'm your host, James Finley, on the Pick a Side podcast. We have a very familiar face back into the lab. I had the pleasure of interviewing Principal Charnay Thompson about a couple of months ago in regards to kids going back to school during with COVID-19. And now Principal Charnay Tunson is back in the lab because this young lady is running for the president's seat for the LACCD board. First of all, congratulations to you, Charnay. And how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I am doing just fine, and I am doing excellent because I saw my friend's name on the sample ballot yesterday, and I opened it up. I saw a little couple of pages, with some stuff about social distancing at the polls and this and that. And the first page that opens up, it's LACCD. It's your seat, and your name is right up there at the top. I said, "Look at this right here." So much love to you and congratulations that you've gotten this far. And we
Yes.
realize that you still have a little ways to go to try to push this thing over the finish line. But I've had the pleasure of interviewing the other 3 candidates that are on the ticket with her for different other seats. They were fabulous. So I call them the Dynamic 4. So you're running anchor on this, so it's your opportunity to be able to let everybody know about yourself, kind of this and that's what we want to focus on this. A lot of the questions that I could be asking Principal Charnay Tunson, the other candidates have asked him, so we're gonna have like a little fireside chat with Charnay. And because I know her, because I know how hard of a worker she is, I can kind of toot her horn for myself, and as well as her. So why don't you give everybody a little brief background again on kind of what's going on, and how did you get to this point right now with you running for this top seat?
Yeah, so I started my education journey literally, it seemed like 3 weeks after graduating from college. I
Mhm.
graduated from Crenshaw, as you all know, and
Absolutely.
immediately left Los Angeles, went to Clark Atlanta University, and graduated from there in 4 years with my Bachelor of Arts degree in visual arts. And prior to, I always maintained that close connection with the school and the principals. And my principal always told me, "Well, Charnay, you will always have a job here whenever you're ready." And so when graduation came and it approached, I hit her up. "Hey, Miss Noble, guess what? That degree is coming real soon. I'm looking for a job." And she was a woman of her word. I interviewed in front of the panel and was offered the position to return home to the Shaw to begin teaching. And that's been my passion ever since the past 22 years. I was in the classroom for 10 years and then transitioned into administration because I wanted to help other teachers become great teachers. And to help the school become great schools. And so I returned back to Crenshaw as an administrator and served there for about 3 years. And last year had the pleasure of actually being a principal for the first time. And now, it actually was in that position last year. The school that I was serving had a dual enrollment program with Los Angeles Southwest College. And I really saw the struggle, not only from the students in being ready for the college classes, but also for the professors and the administrators at the college level, because they were not ready for our students. And it's a two-way street. It really
Yeah.
is a two-way street. In K through 12, we do all that we can to meet our students where they are and to take them to that next level. But then when they reach that higher ed um, life and they don't have the same supports or even similar supports in place, that's when we start to lose our students, in particular our African American students. And so um, I originally, when I saw this opportunity, thought, well, this would be great for me to get on the other side to advocate for the students at my school. But then it became bigger than that. It became bigger than just one school. It really is about all my former students um, that that I've worked with over the 22 years. Because the thing about community college is you're never too old to go back and or to start. But we really need a place that supports our community. And right now, there's a lot of work that needs to be done.
So, you know, when when this was first brought to my attention, and you brought it to my attention, I'm so glad that you did. I didn't even know what the acronym for LACCD was, and I will tell you, just looking at it at a glance, I thought it was something with LA Unified School District.
Hmm.
I saw the LA and I
Yeah.
saw the D, and I was like, okay, this is LA Unified. And then when I was typing it into the computer, and I was like, this community college. I was like, okay, I said, okay, Charnay is taking it up another level. So when did so you're running for the top seat? So let everyone know about that seat that you're running for.
So there's 7 members of the board that are elected, and then there's one student trustee position, um, um, which is unfortunate because there are 9 colleges in the district, and one student is supposed to represent all nine campuses. So that's another issue that we definitely want to bring change to. But I'm running for seat number one, and seat number one, the current trustee happens to be the president of the LACCD, and that is something that is elected amongst the board members. So even though
Mhm.
I'm running against the current president, it doesn't automatically mean that if I'm elected, I'm going to become president. It still has to be a vote
Gotcha. Gotcha.
within the board. But it does say that the president, who happens to be female, she's the only female on the board. There are
Mhm.
no African Americans on the board, but yet um, women make up, about 53% of the population of the LACCD. And I'm all about girl power, black girl magic, women in politics. But, if someone is not doing their job and keeping students first, then it's time for you to step aside and allow for those that are here to do the work to take their place at the table.
Do you feel that there is a place at the table for African American women for these seats?
There's absolutely a place at the table, so much so that the table is screaming for us to arrive.
Hmm.
Um, there's something said about a woman and being a nurturer and having those maternal instincts. And right now, the students of LACCD, it's more than just academics. Our students are hurting. They have I'm sure you've heard my slate mates talk about the housing insecurity, food insecurity, mental health challenges. you know our students really need people that care about their well-being running the ship, and that's not what's happening right now.
Right.
A lot
Right.
of the former trustees have used this platform as a stepping stone for their political careers, meaning they're just sitting here doing what they need to do, making their connections, getting their $1 million endorsements, and then midway through their terms, jumping ship for what they see is bigger and better.
Right.
And that only hurts our students. I think that there needs to be individuals who are committed to putting our students first. And for me, it's about bringing our students to the table because I am not a student. So I do not know what it's like to be a student. So I need those students to be at the table helping to inform the conversation.
That's great, and I so applaud you, the four of you guys, four of you ladies, for being able to take a step out and try to fill these seats. Um, African American women have been slighted and have been shorted for a very, very long time. I think that 2020 is the year of the black female. We have a black female that is running for the vice president of the United States of America. And I think that you all have so many different opportunities at this point right now
Yeah.
than what you all may have ever had in your lives. And I think this is a golden opportunity for you guys to go ahead and take that next step and get into these seats that needs to be filled up with African American women. I think one of the things, Charnay, that I'm impressed with you all is that after I've interviewed the previous three, there's an empathy with you all that matters. Empathy matters. And you have to have a caring, just like you said, a lot of these other incumbents that's on the ballot right now, they're not into it for the students. They don't really care about the students' welfare.
Yeah.
And you guys, all I've been hearing is how you guys, it's all about the students. That's all I've been hearing from the other three. And now it's all about the students. And we still have to realize that a lot of these junior colleges, your Southwest, maybe El Camino, maybe LACC, Trade Tech. Keep in mind that those junior colleges, with the exception of El Camino, are still in the inner city. And
Hmm.
so a lot of those students that's coming from a Fremont, a Jefferson, Dorsey,
Yeah.
Washington, those students are going to those inner city schools, but those problems that they had in high school are still being carried over to the junior college. So kind of talk about that a little bit on how you guys can try to bridge the gap to make it better, because you want to seem like, okay, I graduated from high school, now I'm going to college, so things can get. So how can you guys kind of make that experience a little bit better for these students?
Yeah, James, that is such a great just like realization. It's a reality, and it is so true. Although African Americans and Latinos make up the majority of community college students, still Latino students make up the overwhelming majority. And so that means that a lot of our Black students are not making it. And what is their alternative if they don't go to college? We know the job market is already scarce. And even if they're not looking to attain a degree, there's a lot of certification programs that are being offered by the different community college campuses. And it's things like, transition to college, those skills that weren't taught in high school because of curriculum restrictions and things like that. Time management, financial management, public speaking, the things that you really need to be able to navigate society. That's what we need to have as part of like the bridge that our K through 12 students um, cross in getting into college. Our students bring with them a lot of trauma, a lot of baggage, and we need to make sure that the professors and the assistants and the counselors and even the administrators understand that. And you talked about we lead with empathy because that's what's needed. We talk about PTSD in our veterans returning from active duty, but the reality is the PTSD that our inner city students face far outweighs that. And
Mhm.
people don't acknowledge that enough.
Yeah.
They look at
Yeah.
our students as lazy, troublemakers, don't care attitude, whereas our students are having to navigate so much. And so it really is up to the colleges to support those students, but it's up to the board to hold the college presidents and chancellors accountable to make sure that these things are being taken care of at the local school level. And you know
Right.
me, James, I get my hands dirty. I get down on the front lines no matter what title is
Mhm.
behind my name. So you
Right.
can
Right.
best believe I'm going to be at every one of those colleges taking a peek at what's going on, asking the tough questions, making sure that our students are being taken care of. This is not just a something to put on a resume. Like, this is real life.
Yeah. So, you and I, we're both products of LA Unified School District. And so pretty much when you go to high school, you can do whatever you want to do. So a lot of these kids that's going over to junior colleges, do you think that they are coming out of the live school district system equipped to even make it at the junior college level?
That, and that is the big question. There is a lot of work that still needs to be done in high school, in public schools, to prepare our students. And I would say students have what it takes to make it through community college. What I think they're missing is that coaching and that mentoring. They need that guidance to get them to that next level. That it's so easy for educators to say, "Oh, you're not ready. Oh, you didn't do this. Oh, you can't do that right." But if we start to flip the narrative and flip the thinking and start to point out what our students are capable of and what they're excelling at, then we can start to build that confidence, and in essence will strengthen the resilience of our students.
Right.
I think that our students are ready. I think there's some areas that they need additional support in when they arrive, but I also think that every student is different.
Mhm.
Um, I think that in community college, the professors have higher expectations, whereas in public school, they students may not have received that same level of
Yeah.
high expectation. And so I think it's important that we get on the same page. And that's one of the things that I want to bring to the board is the experience that I've had in K through 12, and be sort of like the bridge, and to be that voice so that the higher education is able to talk to the K through 12, and then the K through 12 has the platform and the space to talk to the higher education.
So when a student is attending a junior college, and I had the opportunity to do it for a semester before I went on over to CSUN. So students who attend junior colleges, it's kind of like a stigma that's on them. And the stigma is you weren't smart enough to make it to a 4 year. Thus, you have students that will bypass the opportunity because they don't want to have that stigma put on them. Oh, I'm going to West LA, because they think that that's just a glorified another version of high school,
Yeah.
or something of that nature. So how do we kind of get over that stigma about junior college? Because I think that there's so many, as I was talking with Dr. James Gray, uh, in our high schools, we don't have wood shop anymore. We don't have metal shop. We don't have those electives that we used to have.
Yeah.
And so, therefore, the junior colleges, they do. So, but how do we get past the stigma of JCs?
James, I think it's all about getting the word out, because right now it's almost like we're on an even playing field, because all colleges students are home. My daughter is a student at one of the UC. I'm sorry. and she's at San Jose State.
Mhm.
And right now, San Jose State is operating out of our bedroom. You know,
Yeah, right,
it
right,
just
right.
just imagine we could save potentially $20,000, $40,000 if she was a student at a community college, at least, for the first year, because she's doing the same work. I would argue that teachers at the community college are at the same caliber as private school teachers, Cal
Mhm.
States, UCs. So you're getting the same education, but it's hitting your pocketbook a little bit differently. So that's
Yeah.
just one thing.
Right.
I think community colleges also are unique in that some of them offer specialized programs and training. Right now, people are struggling with the workforce, and many people have lost their jobs due to
Yep.
COVID.
Yep.
And
Yep.
many people are going to be looking for a change in career if you're forward thinking about what the needs are going to be of our society over the next 5 to 10 years as a result of COVID. And so they're going to be looking for training. They're going to be looking for certification,
Mhm.
maybe even going to get an additional degree so
Yeah.
that they can
Yeah.
advance their career. And right now, community college is looking real golden,
Yeah.
especially for those that have never attended college. Even if you're 18 years old or you're 108, you've never attended college before, you can attend a community college in Los Angeles for free.
Yeah.
Um,
You know,
and that
right.
sounds real good.
Yeah. Right now, we are in a moment in time where you have millions of people that's unemployed, and a lot of these people are not ever going to get those jobs back where they were at, you know.
Yeah.
And so a lot of these folks now are going to have to reinvent themselves some type of way. So I would imagine that the enrollment at some of these JCs, if not this semester, but next semester, possibly is going to be a lot higher than what it has been. And so hopefully, you will be in place by then, as well as your other three slate mates, where you guys can, come on in there, clean things up, and make some changes. So listen, Charnay, why don't you let everybody know about why you are the best candidate for this particular position?
you know, the first reason why I'm the best candidate for this position is because this is my life's work. I have been committed to supporting students, putting students first since day one in education. And that is definitely a huge void that the current board is missing. Secondly, I have experience in education, not only from the faculty teacher standpoint, but also from the administrative standpoint. I have organizational leadership. I started a nonprofit 11 years ago and had some great successes with that. And I'm also a parent of a child that's in college, a college freshman. And those four components make me a very well versed candidate and also a very qualified candidate. And it's not to say if you're not an educator, you aren't qualified to be in this position, but that's one of three other kind of areas of expertise that I have. And so I think by always leading with students first, it makes you the best candidate in all situations involving students, because I'm going to ensure that they have not just one seat at the table, but several seats at the table.
Well, let me just say this on your behalf. You know, we all need to get our roses and stuff and smell them before we leave this earth. So I did not know the other three candidates like I know Charnay. So let me just say this on Charnay's behalf. Ever since I've been knowing Charnay, Charnay has been a very, very aggressive worker. Has always, anytime something has been put in her lap to do, she has done it. She has gone way beyond the call of duty to do it. She sees things through. And that's one of the things that I've always been impressed about you, because anytime that someone asks you, hey, can you do this and this, and when you commit to it, you are in it 110%. Our kids, our students, our kids that have just left high school, just because they have left high school does not mean that they are quote unquote grown and ready for the
Mhm.
world. Our kids still need some tutoring, they need some mentoring, and they need all the help that they can get to adapt being in it, because college is a whole lot different than high school. Number
It
one, you can make your own schedule out. Number two, if you don't want to go to class a certain day, you ain't got to go to class. You ain't, there's no phone calls going to the house talking about, hey, listen, Johnny didn't make it into class today. Number three, I mean, it's just you basically in a class with adults. You're in a class with people that look like your mama, the same age as your mama. You got kids in there. You got students in there that's maybe the age of your grandma. So things are different. Plus, the environment in those classes, you have people in there that are trying to better themselves. So all that foolishness that you had in high school, that leaves. But I'm so glad that we are on the cusp of you guys having this opportunity to be able to nurture these students, and you guys will be able to let the faculty know that this is what has to be done. There's too many times where anytime that you are a teacher, anytime that you are a principal, or anything that has to do with education, you have to take an oath within yourself and say, this is just not about the money.
That's
And I
right.
think we have too many educators this day and time that's all worried about the paycheck and not worried about the students. This is a job of a caring job. So Charnay, you've done a good job, and I'm excited to be able to punch your ticket in when I go vote. I'm going to do everything I can in my power to make sure that that happens. So why don't you let everybody know all the social media platforms that for LACCD is on right now?
Yes, so I'm real simple. I like to keep it easy and convenient. You can find me everywhere. Tunson, the number 4, LACCD. That's my Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and my website is tunson4laccd.org. I look forward to representing everyone. It's such a thrill to see a picture of that sample ballot and to see my name. It just really
Yeah, yeah, that
solidified
one.
everything, like wow, this is
Yeah,
real, it's really happening.
yeah.
So if if you um if you don't see it in your ballot, that probably means that you live outside of
Right,
the
right.
district for LACCD, although it covers a very, very large area.
Yeah.
um, I just ask that you share this with your family, with your friends, with your coworkers, because how Black folks, we like to do when we vote is we have that one educated family member that fills out the sample ballot for everybody, and then we pass that sample ballot around. Just make sure you check Charnay Tunson on page 2, name number 2, when you pass that ballot around to auntie and grandma and uncle.
That's right. And Charnay, we definitely gonna be doing that. So listen, on www.pickaside.org, I have all 4 of the candidates blasted over my website, and the interviews will be going on there as well. And we'll probably be airing the shows on Saturday. But I just want to wish you best of luck, and hope that God is able to bless you with this. And if for some reason that you guys do not make it, rest assured that you guys have brought a lot of attention to this, and pretty much that's the first step.
That's
So
right.
we gonna stay positive with this and be very optimistic that you all will be able to walk in there and make some changes. So listen, Charnay, thank you so very much for coming into the lab again, and you are always welcome to come in here and discuss things, whatever the topic may be. So you guys take it easy, and I will see you guys on the other side.
Thank
Ladies and
you.
gentlemen, this has been another podcast for Pick a Side Nation, and I certainly thank Charnay, as I already said. So, as always, close, keep God first place in your life. He'll take you places that you never dreamed of. Thank you so very much, Charnay. Charnay, do not get off, but I'm about to end this podcast right now. Thank you so very much.